Hi, welcome to episode 15 of Leaving California. And today I am so lucky and excited to share Cody and Bear Frisbie with you from Western Montana. I am so freaking excited. So many people have been asking me to do Montana, and turns out that Western Montana is the Montana, like what you picture in your mind. So this is going to be a really good time. So Cody and Bear, tell me a little bit about yourselves and why you love real estate in Montana.
Well, first of all, I'm Bear and he's Cody. Because that's too confusing. Like, who's Bear?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I would say so. I guess it would be most interesting to people listening from California is that we are both native Californians. I was born in Southern California. Bear was born in Northern California, Bay Area. And I've been a Montana resident for a little over 10 years and Bear for 20. We've been in real estate roughly 5 years. I've had my broker's license for a little over a year. What I love about Montana real estate is that a lot of people come to Montana seeking freedom, freedom in so many different ways, and just the open spaces and the wildlife and just what kind of, I think, America represents in a lot of ways. So it's really fun bringing people into that atmosphere and sharing that love of that kind of lifestyle with them, and helping them make that dream of staying here a reality. I think it's really cool.
Oh, that's super cool. And I think that that's true for a lot of my clients that want to leave the state. There's so many reasons. And I love where I live and I sell plenty of real estate here. It's not changing. As much as we're seeing people leaving, we still have people staying, and that's no different. But I see people who are like, look, I don't have to live in a city. I don't have to live, on top of my neighbor. I can't afford to do that in California. So where else can I go and that still be affordable? Are you seeing people who are moving from out of state who potentially are keeping their jobs wherever they're at and not even changing jobs or taking new employment in Montana, but keeping that and working from home there?
Yeah, we see a lot of that. In fact, that trend had already started prior to the whole, everyone working from home. So we have an international airport in Missoula, which is nice. We found that as long as folks can get to an international airport pretty easily, working from home is pretty easy. Our internet is, great. Everyone can find what they need here as long as they can get out. So Missoula from where we are is about 45 minutes, which is a straight shot, super easy to get there. No big deal. It probably takes you guys 45 minutes to get to Sacramento Airport. So as long as we have those amenities, I think we're going to continue to see people seek that type of lifestyle of being able to have a little more room, a little more house for, about the same price.
And we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but you guys are seeing such high demand. And I asked if the builders are building traditional subdivisions like we would know them. And luckily they're not. They're doing something else, which I think is really cool because that's what people are going out there to buy. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I would say, not traditional in the sense that we don't have very large subdivisions with really small lots and kind of cookie cutter floor plans. Like, we don't do that in the traditional sense. We usually have a subdivision with probably the average lot, maybe 2 acres. Okay, so pretty large. And then what usually will happen is we might have 3 or 4 different builders in the same neighborhood. So we end up with, very different homes, unique, everything from the styling to the floor plans. So it's kind of less restrictive in that way. And then again, too, with things like homeowners associations and covenants and things like that, ours are usually pretty minimal compared to the traditional subdivision.
Yeah, I hope they're not telling you can't have livestock.
Sometimes, but not usually.
Not usually. Some of ours here, I mean, obviously the ones that are tight, yeah, you can't really have any animals, but there are some with some space that restrict certain noisy animals, which is crazy to me, but it is what it is. So let's look at a little bit of a couple of houses. And I want to know a little bit about where these properties are and who might be moving there as we kind of look through them. So this is Glacier Drive in Lolo, Montana. So tell me where Lolo, Montana is in comparison to, oh, we'll just use the airport as a
Right, a reference point. Okay, so
yeah.
Missoula is kind of the biggest, I'd say, metropolitan area. South of Missoula is a valley called the Bitterroot Valley, and that's where we live. And it's about 90
it's
90
about,
miles?
about 90 miles.
About 90 miles in length, running north to south. And in that valley, just south of Missoula, is a town called Lolo. Lolo might sound familiar because if you've ever watched Brad Pitt in A River Runs Through It, Lolo Hot Springs is kind of where it was. It was sort of, it takes place there, and then it also was filmed a little bit around here. So very mountainous. Lolo is just south of Missoula, just a few minutes. It's a great little community. I think it has a K-8 school. It doesn't go through high school. I think the kids probably go to Missoula for high school there. But it's a great community. It's in Missoula County, and it's just 8 miles south of Missoula.
And so this one is a quarter-acre lot, 3,100 square feet for just under $450,000. And this is something that is typical of pricing this close to Missoula. I'm assuming because it's closer to the city center. Is that how it works there? Is closer to the city center, you got higher prices, or are you higher further away?
Well, it's a different county, and closer to Missoula certainly is. I mean, also this is a pretty big house.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of square footage anyways. And then, prices have been climbing. But I'd say, what do you think?
This one is actually pretty reasonably priced. I think what happens is like our price point doesn't change so much as like with this one, you see it's just a quarter-acre lot. You tend to be in the same price points, but you're not getting the land with it. But like the Lolo community is more about commuting to work in Missoula. And so you find these kind of large family homes on smaller lots there. And this is more typical of what you would find in Missoula. But in Missoula, you'd be correct. This house would probably be about $100,000 more.
And what kind of industry do you guys have? Like, say we were commuting to Missoula, what kind of jobs are we looking at out there?
There's two really large hospitals that I think are probably pretty big draws, but then there's just everything that a community has there. It's just everything.
University.
You got the airport, hospitals, regular big city stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And the University of Montana is there, the home of the Grizzlies. So, that's also another employer.
Snow. So there's snow, obviously. Yes. Are you guys the dry snow, or like my friend that moved from my area? She actually lived in the foothills, so she was used to snow. To Alaska, says the snow is totally different, Erica. It's not the same snow. Is that true?
It's pretty dry because when it is winter, it's pretty cold. The nice thing about our valley is you see the mountains in the background, and those mountains will get, feet and feet of snow. Beautiful, dry, wonderful skiing and snowboarding. But down in the valley, we're considered what they say is the banana belt. So it might snow, but then a couple days later, it'll pretty well melt off. It's not like Tahoe where you drive through and there's 3 feet of snow on the road. It's most likely going to snow and then melt. And unless we have a cold snap. If we have a cold snap, it might stick around for a while. But I would say like feet of snow on the ground in the valley is not really, it might happen, but then it's gone.
So you're cold, but you're not digging mountains of snow out your front door.
There are times when you are.
It's
this is Montana.
It's not like a regular thing. I think that
so expect to try it, but not all the time.
Right.
Yeah. No problem. All right, so let's go to Hamilton. So how far, I don't know what this picture is, so I'm going to go to the next one. You can tell me what it is. How far is Hamilton? Actually, I want to get out of this. How far is Hamilton from Lolo? Are we going down into the valley across?
Yes, you're going south into the valley, and it's probably about a 45-minute drive, like maybe, is it a little further?
Yeah, from Lolo, it's really a 30-minute drive because you're still about 10 minutes outside of Missoula at that point, I would say, because you're not into the Missoula Valley yet. You're in the Bitterroot Valley when you're in Lolo. So yeah, it's like a 30-minute, I'd say roughly about the same in mileage. And
it's a straight shot. They have 2-lane highways. Is that what they call it when there's 2 lanes on each side?
I think so.
Oh, 4-lane maybe? I don't know. But it's a nice road. It's, like highly traveled.
Yeah.
It's not like a dirt rural road to get down there. So there are a lot of people that commute from Hamilton to Missoula. Personally, I wouldn't want to, but that's just me personally. But I know a lot of people do.
But if you want 6 acres and a similar size to the house that we saw before, for $549, I mean, maybe you're going to make the commute, right? Like you're like, maybe I need this space. This one is so cute. It just screams like ranch country to me. You'd probably find a similar style of house in the foothills where I live on property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this one has creek frontage, which is really sought after. I know a lot of people when they come here, that's one of their one of the things on their wish list. Which it's a little hard to come by. When you find it, you should grab it.
So tell me something else that if they're coming from California, they're like, I really want blank.
Yeah,
they want it all. They want trees. They want open space. They want the log house, but no maintenance. They want water. They want a pond. They want to be on a lake, everything. So all of those features in one is not the easiest thing to find. This is a really neat property that it is on, a creek, and it's just kind of a cute little house with some land with it. And you're right. The further south you go, the house might remain the same size, but our property starts to get a little bigger.
Oh, this is a cute porch. Let's get the creek's coming up. There it is. What was I going to say? So I lost my train of thought. That's okay. I'll think of it.
About, the kind of things that people are looking for here. I would point out something that I think is kind of funny. I think most people coming from metro areas don't quite understandably grasp the size of an acre.
Yeah.
So generally people are looking for way more land than they actually want. And they end up finding out that a 5-acre parcel is fantastic and that 50 acres was way over their head.
Yeah. Or when they're looking at 5, they really only want 1. And that happens to me in the foothills too. So they'll come from Sacramento, and I work about 30 minutes outside Sacramento towards Tahoe. I'm still an hour and a half from Tahoe, but there's property here to be had. And people will be like, I want 5 acres. And then I'll be like, look, this is just an acre right here. Like, this is it. And then they're like, oh, that's plenty.
Exactly.
I don't need 5 acres. I don't want to take care of that. And that's what I was going to say is with the log houses, I know that that's like some dream ideal, but the maintenance on something like that is high, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you keep up with it, it's fine, but there's definitely certain things that are unique to the maintenance of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pond and a little fishing dock. How cute.
Yeah. So cute.
So cute.
The great thing about Hamilton is kind of the southern end of the valley, and about another 40 minutes south, there's a ski area, a recreational ski area, right on the border of Idaho and Montana. It's called Lost Trail Ski Area, and it's awesome. Some of the best snow I've ever skied in. I've skied all over Tahoe. I've skied, Canada. I've skied a lot of places, and it's amazing. It's great. It's really
and it's easy to 40 minutes.
40 minutes, and I think you can't quote me on this, but I think lift tickets are like $30.
We could probably buy the plane ticket to Montana and the lift ticket for the cost of our lift ticket.
Yeah, they have a program called the 1-2-3 program for kids where they get 3 lessons, 3 rentals, 3 lift tickets, and I think it's like $100. It's like it's wild. It's wild.
What about property taxes? This is something I always have to talk about because everybody always asks. But property taxes, and income tax and that kind of thing. Obviously, we don't need exact numbers, but range-wise, how did your property taxes work out there?
Well, so there's a few things. Like if you just straight up average, we're at like 0.83, which is lower than the national average. So pretty good there. One of the unique things that we have here, though, is if you have 10 acres or more, that land actually in excess of the acre that surrounds your house is taxed at a much lower rate. It gets under an agricultural rate. So that's a huge difference. But I would say like actual dollars to an owner is usually like our average, I would say, is right around $3,000 a year.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. However, Missoula is much higher. That is something to point out there.
Missoula County.
Yes, Missoula County. Once you get, and actually Lolo is in Missoula County. That's the first. That's the first town in Missoula County.
Income tax. Do you guys have income tax or no?
We do. We do have income tax. Yeah.
Okay. We have income tax, but we do not have sales tax.
No sales tax. See, we have property tax, income tax, and sales tax.
And gas
we know.
taxes
We know all about your taxes.
You're like, that's why we moved.
They're taxing this video right now.
Yes.
I'll deal with it later.
On any potential income.
That's coming soon. So 567 Darling Drive in Corvallis, and this is $399. This you can't buy 1,400 square feet in my area for $399. That is in good condition. And this is on, I want to see if just under a quarter acre. So this is a cute little neighborhood with these views of the mountains that are stunning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know a lot about this neighborhood. We've sold quite a few properties in this neighborhood. It's about 6 years old. It is size-wise, as far as the lots, a lot more of a traditional subdivision. But you can see obviously that they have a custom home look because there's multiple builders in there, which is really awesome. But yeah, that's a great little neighborhood, and it's very close to the local school there, which is really highly sought after in that city of Corvallis.
I love this. It's so cute. And I love that that there's the different builders in the neighborhoods make it, interesting. Sometimes the builders are building, 4 or 5 models and they're just rotating through them. And so the neighborhood's really, really, really consistent. And, if I sold one house, I probably know exactly what the other house looks like. So personally, it's part of why I like working in the rural areas is because it's all different. It's something else to see.
Definitely. Yeah. And the builders here are so much more flexible. We just sold one where the builder actually, it was going to be a spec home, but the buyer was actually able to change the floor plan completely, bring them a completely different floor plan that they had never built. And almost like a custom home.
Nice. I love it. So traditional, what is everybody looking for? This one is this wood or is it LVP or something like that? What do you guys?
I think that one was wood actually.
And is that like what people are normally looking for? I mean, we're kind of leaving wood behind for this luxury vinyl plank that's super waterproof and all of this, and everybody
Right.
wants that now. So
Yeah, I think we see them both. I actually worked for a custom home builder for a long time. Still in the higher end homes, you're going to see the hardwood. But moving towards like a more manufactured one that has like, water resistance, scratch resistance, that type of thing. But yeah, LVP is, it's everywhere. It's awesome. It's so durable. I would say this home is, if we had this listing, it would be gone. This at this price, it seems high to us, but this market just keeps pushing up and up and up. But this is a great listing. This is a home that's very typical in and around the city centers, maybe on a quarter acre. This is just a great home. This is what you can expect to find this as a highly sought after listing. Mm-hmm. This will sell pretty quickly. There's a lot of young families, especially being by the school. So yeah, if this were ours, we'd feel pretty excited about having it as a listing.
Christina wants to know, how does Missoula compare in cost to other main cities in Montana? Is it higher or lower than, say, Billings? I don't know what GF means, or Bozeman.
Great Falls.
Bozeman,
yeah.
Man, so I'm not super familiar with the other areas except Bozeman. I always hear about Bozeman is like off the charts, ridiculous expensive.
Yeah.
I would say that Missoula probably ranks right up there with all the highest, but from what I understand, Bozeman is probably leading the market.
I'd say that the leaders in the market are probably like Kalispell, Bozeman, Missoula, places like that. You'll find a little more affordable living in Billings and Great Falls and Hamilton and areas like that. But they're, Missoula is probably the lower end of the high end.
And then you have and then like you said, we're not right in Missoula. So if you can still get access to that city center, but save a little money because you're driving 40 minutes, I think that's super ideal.
Yeah, and in Missoula they have, Target and Walmart and restaurants and the university and Costco and, all those amenities that everyone is very accustomed to. Honestly, in our life, we hardly go up to Missoula anymore. In our little valley, there's great grocery shopping and kind of just everything we need. But it is nice to have it so close and not a difficult drive.
And I don't know if we got to this part, but you guys actually run your family's cattle ranch as well and live on it as well as real estate, right?
Yeah. So our personal little nuclear family, we have animals that are our own that we take care of on a daily basis. My family owns a ranch, has about 100 head of Angus cattle. And so we help out a lot there, whether it be riding for them or helping out when calving. But we live on the ranch and help do all those tasks that come around with ranching.
I'm trying to get the link to post it in the comments so that I can post the link to your blog. I love it, and I love looking at your pictures.
Oh, thank you.
You have the best content, and I know a lot of people want to consume that kind of from here because
I started last year just this little Instagram page sharing our ranch life, and it's really been awesome to connect with people, on this level of what it is really truly like to live ranch lifestyle, Montana lifestyle, raising your kids, gardening, having chickens, canning, whatever it might be. It's just there is a lot of folks that want to consume that and connect to the goodness of it and the richness of the life. And, it's just our life. And I'm a professional photographer and I like to write silly things. And so it's all kind of come together in this really funny funny thing on our Instagram page, but
Like
it's grown. It's great.
And your posts are funny and your pictures are beautiful. And I stalk, ever since we connected like 6 weeks ago, I kind of like peek over there once in a while. I have chickens in my backyard in Rockland.
Awesome.
We got 5 chickens over quarantine, and
Awesome.
I love them. I didn't know I could love a bird. I'm not a bird person. And it's something about the chickens, like, they follow my husband around the yard. They kind of have free range in my backyard most of the time. And, we're up to like 3 to 5 eggs a day, and we think we're so special. And it's been a lot of fun.
I bet the kids love them too.
The kids adore them. We have one, our black one, her name is Shadow, and she's the only one that lets you like scoop her up. The rest of them run too fast. But, it's something about even just going to my backyard and connecting with my chickens has been a huge blessing in this time. And I think that's kind of what the attraction is to Montana. And like you said, the wholesomeness of just connecting with what's around you. And I don't know, I go out and sit and talk to my chickens all the time. And it's just something about that. Well,
it's about connecting with those, but also disconnecting from those fears that are just kind of swirling around us. When you're in your home and you are not sure whether, if you go to the store, if there'll be toilet paper or meat in the freezer, it does something inside of us that says, we need to reconnect with kind of our roots here, and having your own eggs, even though it's 3 or whatever, or having a garden sill or like a windowsill garden, just those little tiny things that you can do in your home in California without a yard or whatever. I think those little things are important, and they really enrich our lives, and they spark something in us.
And I've seen a lot of people here, a huge ask is like even enough space to put like a couple raised beds or, backyard. I have a friend that her whole backyard in Sacramento is food garden. And it is, it's fantastic. It's just, her thing. And she's connected, and like you said, it just gives you an opportunity to connect with the world around you, and I think it's super important. So if you guys are watching, connect with her blog, follow her on Facebook, and follow her on Instagram. It's a ton of fun. Is there anything else that you want to say? I know Cody had to take off, had to go get real estate done somewhere, but tell me.
Someone's got to work.
Someone's got to work. What is the last and final nugget that you want to give to people that are interested in moving to Montana? What's a big tip?
A big tip. Okay. Well, there's a few things. One, Montana, of course, I love it, and I share that a lot. It's beautiful. There's so many recreational activities to be had here. But I would say really search yourself and what kind of lifestyle you want to live. And if you've been, afraid to take that step, now is a really great time to just take the step and seek those things that you want for your life. Don't waste any more time. Go for it, whether it's Montana or, Tennessee or Texas or Idaho, wherever it is, seek out those things that you're really wanting for you and your family and your life and your kids and your lifestyle, and go for it. You're not, don't be afraid.
One life to live. That's all you got.
You know the details. You just take the leap.
And I guess the last thing that we talked about a little bit off camera that we haven't brought up yet here is, and we kind of touched on it, but inventory is extremely low there. And I think that it's important that you connect with your real estate agent here, me, and your real estate agent there, Bear and Cody, and we all work together to create a plan that helps you move efficiently. And I think that's what's so important about this series for me, is that I want my clients to know that my connections in other places we're working together. And it's not like I'm just throwing you a name and I'm like, here, figure it out for them. I'm listing their house. Mm-hmm. And that's part of what I'm trying, my business is about, is like, wherever you need to move to, let me know. Like, we'll figure it out and I'll help you get there. And there's so much to be done when you're making a big move like that. It's important to have a good team.
Yeah. And I really applaud what you're doing, because having that personal relationship between us and you can really help with the seamlessness, and just it's important to have that trust for me to be like, I know if we make an offer contingent that Erica is on it and she's selling this house, and she can give me clear, ideas of when this might happen or that might happen. And whenever we find someone as a referral, it's so important to interview them and know that they're going to be reliable, and know that they've got you every step of the way, because there are so many steps, and to have them all coordinate, especially in a market like this, is so important.
Yeah, when you've got your house you're listing in California and your purchase in Montana is contingent on your house in California closing, it's stressful. And communication, I feel like I tell my clients, communication solves all problems. Let me know what's going on. I will let the listing agent know what's going on, or the buyer's agent, or whatever. And as long as the clearer the lines of communication, the easier path forward. And like this project has been amazing for my clients. So I appreciate all of your time. I try to end around 30 minutes. We're at 31. So if you guys love Montana, like I said, follow her blog. I put the link in the comments. And if you need anything or trying to make a move, please don't hesitate to give me a call, and I'll connect you with them as soon as possible. So thanks so much for your time, you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Erica.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.